Assistance, official personal computer of the Offshore Professional Tour. While there's lots of exotic, expensive equipment in the water, but it takes quite a support system to transport these offshore monsters.
While the focus of attention in an offshore race is deservedly the spectacle of the huge race boats, we're in the dry pit area to catch a glimpse behind the scenes. The object of our search? The armada of state-of-the-art trucks that support the teams and carry them from race to race. Almost like a circus, the Offshore Professional Tour moves across the country in a convoy caravan of racing machines, exotic and colorful enough to put P.T. Barnum to shame. But rather than the old horse-drawn wagons or the circus trains, this traveling show is drawn by mighty tractor trailers specifically outfitted to meet the racers' needs. Team trucks are equipped with enough spare parts to meet almost any eventuality. A look inside reveals an impressive array of tools and equipment calculated to transform the truck into a full-scale, high-performance shop. Spare engines, drives, and hardware for the race boats are all provided in an immaculately clean atmosphere, complete with a high level of creature comforts. Many of the key suppliers also bring elaborate rigs to each race. These trucks support the competitors with equipment as well as shop facilities and skilled personnel to ensure the best possible performance. These trailers invariably become hotspots at each event as racers and fans find items and displays calculated to catch the eye. These rigs' most important role, however, can occur at any hour of the day or night if emergency repairs or modifications are needed before race day. One rig has been designated as the official T-shirt carrier for all of the teams, providing one-stop shopping for eager race fans of all ages. The key vehicle at any race is the OPT headquarters trailer. This combines storage for all of the racecourse turnboys and safety equipment with a communication center boasting computers and office facilities, as well as some very friendly and helpful people. These rigs provide a kind of community at each race, which serves the racers' needs in a myriad of ways and provide a colorful and fascinating backdrop to this magnificent sport.
A transport accident is the reason we're not seeing Little Caesars Pizza in today's competition, but Powerboat Marine is out in front.
You know, haul-out drives and power plants must work together to make it happen on the race course, and Powerboat Marine throttleman Jim Dyke talks about his combination.
Well, we feel our particular setup handles very well. We haven't really come close to spinning the boat yet, and I don't know if that's because we're not pushing it hard enough. The boat's going fast enough in our lap speeds that we feel we're running really hard through the corners and that it handles very well.
Jim Dyke, a great competitor. In fact, he's quite a story. He's raced all season long with a very painful back injury. But Powerboat Marine's second in points is leading this race in New York. In second place now, the points leader, Spirit of the Amazon. Can they catch up? Can there be a confrontation between the #1 and #2 points leaders?
All he needed was a ninth-place finish to sew up the national championship. Look at the nice showing here. Hugo Colombo and Jeff Silver currently in third place. That's the best showing for them all year long this late in the race.
Bud Dry's trimmed out nicely right now. AES Motorsports continues to lead the open class.
And driver Alan Shapiro averaging 104 miles an hour. Very confident today.
Well, this race course here, we have an 8-mile oval course right up and down the Hudson River here. So this, again, is our type of race course. The water hopefully should be to our advantage. And this type of race course, our boat turns on very well. So I feel we'll have an advantage here today.
AES Motorsports way out in front now in the open class. And even though Excalibur has dropped back into second place and really not challenging with this kind of speed that we're seeing, he's got quite a battle on his hands with Photo Finish for second. Photo Finish currently in third, but trimmed nicely. I think Excalibur might be pushing it, might be having some problems.
I agree. He was pushing the whole race. Now, I don't know if they've noticed something about an oil pressure drop or whatever in the cockpit, and they've backed off so they don't burn up an engine, but their competitors still go the best way they can. Meanwhile, the throttle man of the Photo Finish, he's got his hands full in that small boat. Whoa! Comes out of the water just a little bit. Inside on board again, the Excalibur. Again, they're just racing. They're trying to keep it alive, but they're not challenging for the lead.
Here's Mean Streak. Bob Gallo, a New York native, instrumental in making sure this race took place in New York.
The sounds of the fourth place Mean Streak as we look now into the north turn. Hawk Marine American Express currently running in 5th place. And this is their first appearance of the year. Here is our leader, Agitator, averaging in Pro 1 Another win. If he can just keep it together, he's not been defeated, as we said, all year long. A father and son team. Eastern Express is currently in second place.
Eastern Express has been challenging Agitator through the latter part of the season. It'll be interesting to see here in the last race of the regular season if Eastern Express can pull off an upset victory.
Back to our leader in Superboat, the Powerboat Marine, looking for their second victory of 1991 on the OPT Tour. Here is the average at over 115 mile an hour. And in open class, averaging close to 104, the leader is AES Motorsports. We've got lots more action coming from New York City. We'll have it all for you after the speeds here today are nearing records. And in racing, the all-important word is speed. Let's go to Art Ekman.
Speed, the goal of man since he first learned to walk. In competition, we've raced on foot, horseback, in chariots and wagons. During the industrial age, there were steam engine races on land and water. Then, with the introduction of the combustion engine, man got down to the business of speed in earnest. The fastest man-made object of today is truly out of this world. NASA's Voyager Deep Space Probe reaches speeds in excess of 50,000 miles per hour as it makes its way through our solar system on its journey of exploration. A bit closer to home, an F-16 fighter jet is capable of traveling over twice the speed of sound in defense of our country. On a racetrack, an Indy car clicks off laps at a 215-mile-per-hour pace. Let's take a look at the record book for offshore racing, Superboat and open class, and see how the numbers compare. Tom Gentry of Honolulu, Hawaii, has the distinction of being the fastest man in offshore. On March 8, 1987, Tom and his 50-foot Gentry Turbo Eagle Superboat went through the speed trap at 148.238 miles per hour. That's the fastest recorded straightaway run for any offshore class boat. On that same day, New Orleans entrepreneur Al Copeland set the open class world record straightaway speed at 138.512 miles per hour in a 6-engine catamaran. When it comes down to actual race conditions in the heat of battle, demands posed by swells and wind chop mean the drivers have to pit themselves against the sea as well as the other competitors in their quest for high performance. Even while facing off against the elements and the competition of other racers, the top lap speeds are still impressive. Last year here in New York, Don Johnson took his Team USA Superboat around the Hudson River course at a blistering 127.3 mile an hour average lap speed. In the open class, former national champion John D'Elia in the special edition owns the record lap speed at 109.45 miles per hour, set in 1988. Higher horsepower, better designs, and improved safety have all contributed to the increase of top speed in this sport. But the key ingredient is the racers themselves. It's these men and women who have what it takes to push their machines to the boundary of their performance. The racers will be quick to tell you, though, that it's not just those who sit in the cockpit who are responsible for achieving the goal of high performance. Cadres of engineers and mechanics shoreside make it possible for the men in the cockpit to push their machine to the limits. Each year brings improvements to the sport, and each year, the far end of the high-performance envelope gets pushed just a little bit further.
Here's your Superboat leader. It's Powerboat Marine, but he's going to get a challenge. He's averaging over 114 mile an hour right now, being chased by the Spirit of the Amazon with Ike Batista. You know, a driver like national champion Ike Batista knows that he must have an experienced throttle man in the cockpit with him.
With Bobby Moore and his crew, I mean, what can you expect? He's so, as I always say, so meticulous, and I give him carte blanche to do what he thinks is right. And however, you know, Superboat with 4 engines it's a complicated thing. So there's also luck, because I realized that in the last 2 races, if you really have a fast course, we can't push the boat so much. You know, the average speed, you know, if you have to keep average speeds above 110 miles an hour, the boats are too heavy, and the 4 engines is just really impossible to keep equipment together.
Mike registered concern, but they're going over 119 miles an hour right now. Spirit of the Amazon in second place. In first place, Powerboat Marine, the guys out of the Midwest. Russell Wilkin from Bluffton, Indiana, and Jim Dyke out of Bay Village, Ohio.
Meanwhile, this boat, the Apache kid that had a problem getting on plane at the start, is playing the game. Let's watch for attrition. They're currently in third place.
The open boat photo finish you just saw go by them, so they're just hanging on, looking for points.
106.1 for AES Motorsports, the leader in the open class. Here is our second place boat, the photo finish. Excalibur having further problems.
And it could be insurmountable problems for Bob Kaiser and Errol Lanier right here. Taking off the helmet and going back to check things over is Errol.
Something's cooked there. You can see the steam coming off of that starboard engine. Errol Lanier just slams down the canopy and climbs back in. And, of course, driver Bob Kaiser, look of disgust on his face. He's a competitor. He wants to win all the time, and who can blame him? Here is your attrition. No less than 6 teams are dead in the water in the Superboat class. There is the rest of the boats that have made it to the beach or are floating around just watching the rest of these boats compete. As we look, the Hawk American Express, little loose on that port side engine and that canopy. Notice it flopping back there?
The boat's showing wear, especially on the south end of the course. In fourth, it's Mean Streak.
Mean Streak running a pretty good race. Now let's go up to Chopper 1 and Rich Lures. Rich?
Bob Gallows, number 33, Mean Streak. Big Apache, blasting around an open class. Not necessarily the water that this boat was designed for, which is a true offshore hull, but still running in the 90-mile-an-hour range. And with the attrition we've seen here, certainly in position to place well in this race. Of course, the ageless Bob Cecchini on the throttles is very cagey, very canny, and will definitely eke a finish out if there's one to be had for the Mean Streak crew.
It would be a fine finish for Mean Streak if they can hold on with that average speed that they have, but Powerboat Marine has been able to avoid attrition despite going all out from the very start. Powerboat Marine in first in the Superboat class, with Spirit of the Amazon coming up quicker.
Not only that, but look at his speed, over 123 miles an hour. He's going to try for it with about 2 more laps to go here in New York City. Ike Batista trying to catch this boat. Powerboat Marine trying to close the gap. We've got a lot of exciting action. The checker flag is waiting. Will this boat hang on, or will Spirit of the Amazon come on strong and win once again in 1991?
York National Offshore Championship. This is our leader.
Powerboat Marine in the Superboat class. Less than 8 miles to go. The checker flag is waiting. Can they hang on for their second victory of 1991, or will this boat become a winner once again? I'll tell you what, Amazon is really pressing. They better hope it holds together.
Well, they're going all out. They've already got the yearly points championship in their hip pocket, and they would love now for the opportunity to catch Powerboat Marine and put another victory on the record books.
Powerboat Marine passing one of the boats that is having a problem on this course, and he's got to hold off this boat. But I think this boat may have a problem.
It looks like he might have lost the drive. Look at the rooster tail of water. That's not a natural thing when your boat's running well.
That's going to give it to Powerboat Marine if they can hold it together. The finish is coming down. Here it is. Powerboat Marine wins its second event of 1991 of the OPT season.
A great tribute to Russ Wilkins' leadership and his crew for Powerboat Marine, their second win in the last 3 races of the season. Amazon, second here in New York. Apache Kid, an impressive third.
Alan Dunham and his son Kurt, Pro 1 winners, an undefeated season in Pro 1 competition for the Agitator team.
That's remarkable. It'll be interesting to see if they go up a class next year. Eastern Express second in this race.
There's the rest of our lineup. And now, the Great Adventure, the Gazelles, win Pro 2, averaging over 71 miles an hour. And there's the rest of the finishers, the top 5. A feeling of euphoria has to fill the cockpit of this open class winner, AES Motorsports, as Alan Shapiro wins his first OPT race ever, and the throttle man Joey Impressa wins in his hometown.
A wonderful way to cap an outstanding season for this new team. Alan Shapiro's wife with the checkered flag, Joey Impressa's wife, also on board as they win their first race of the season. Photo finishes second, Hawk American Express third, Mean Streak placed fourth with Excalibur number 5. When we come back to New York, we'll be talking with
New York, where the Agitator team has had a perfect season. Let's go down to the docks now and Art Ekman. Art?
Alan pole to pole for the sweep.
That's what we like to do. It was a good year for us, obviously, all wins, so that's what we like to do. But I owe it a lot to preparation a great throttle man, and of course the best driver in the world.
Well, Eastern Express, Kirk, tried to give you a go there for a while.
Yeah, at the start there, you couldn't blink, or they were running right up beside us. You know, we were trying to take it a little conservative, you know, with the tabs down and the drives tucked under to keep the boat in the water. But towards the end, you know, I think we always seemed to always get him in the turns on the inside and push him out, you know, and just a few feet here and a few feet there, you know, we got him at the end.
Did you ever dream you'd go undefeated for the national championship?
Well, I dreamt. I never believed I'd do it, that's for sure.
A perfect slate for Agitator and the Dunnemans as we look at the top 5 points leaders for 1991. Eastern Express second, Tough Enough third. Our national points final for Pro 2, 3 straight wins in the first half of the season put Mercruiser Mana on top, and they held on. Splish Splash second, Conch Attack placing third this year. Jim is dockside now with our winner, a first-time winner in open class.
Nothing could be sweeter than to win in your own hometown. Joey Impression knows the feeling.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. This has been great. All my fans, all my friends are here, and it couldn't have happened any better. This is the way to end the year. First place.
Alan Shapiro had a smile on his face to come out of that boat. He's just now starting to calm down. This is your first win ever, isn't it?
This is our first win in OPT. This is our first open class win, and I can tell you we're real excited. Our Mercruiser equipment ran absolutely flawless today, and we are real happy.
The final standings for open class Dirty Laundry, the defending champion, once again on top. And Jim is with that crew dockside.
It's been quite a year for the Dirty Laundry team. They are the national champions of open class. Not too much action today, Smitty Smith.
Well, we caught a plastic bag right at the first turn, or just a little bit before it, actually, and we saw the engine temperature coming up. And we knew we had the championship anyways, and so there was no need to destroy motors. We're just get ready to go to the World Championship now.
Well, Joe, you kind of seem relaxed now, getting ready for the Worlds. You got the national in your pocket. Again, it'll be US 1 on that red boat. Will you stay open next year, or are you guys ever thinking of moving up the Super?
We're planning on building a super boat. It depends if we've got enough time to complete it before the season. If we don't have it completed before the season starts, then we'll run open. But at this time, I think we'll make it.
It's been a great race for Powerboat Marine in the Superboat class here today in New York. Let's go to Art Ekman.
Well, Jim, for a while there, you had a good bout with Circus Circus. You were taking them on the corners that I could see.
Yeah, Circus Circus did an excellent job. They had a lot of horsepower down the straight, but we felt that the different boat setups that we might have an advantage in the corners, and it looked like that proved out.
And Russ, then it was just a matter of hanging everything together.
Yeah, it's up to Jim as to how far to crowd it. And kept trying to keep track of where the next boat was. Try to stay in between them. Mr. Batista was coming on strong, and we were trying to keep track of where he was. 2
out of the last 3. What a great way to finish up the regular season.
It had been a little bit more interesting today for everybody if we would have had 3 out of 3. So well, thanks to everybody, especially Mercury Marine. Their equipment performed flawlessly today, and with the outdrives helping us in the turns and the engines, they just never missed a beat.
So with a solid first place finish today, they finished second overall in Superboat high point standings. The winner is the Amazon to wear US 1 next year. Let's go to Art.
What's it mean with the national championship now, the US 1 on your Brazilian boat, Ike?
Well, it's wonderful. I mean, I started in 1990 winning the Brazilian championship, then last year the World Championship in OPT, and today the national championship. So it's great. I'm very happy. I'm very excited.
Time now for the winner of our Key Maneuver Award, the Florida Keys and Key West Key Maneuver of the race. And how can you ignore a perfect season for the P-10 boat, Agitator? Victorious once again today. Alan and Kirk Dunneman, congratulations on a fantastic season.
You're right, Art. It was a fantastic season to go undefeated. Now let's salute our national champions for 1991.
Spirit of the Amazon highlighted their championship season with 4 straight victories. Dirty Laundry repeats as National Open champion. They also registered 4 straight wins in 91. Agitator never finished worse than first. And Mercruiser Mana jumped on top of the points race with 3 straight wins.
Those are our national champions, OPT style 1991. Next stop, Key West, Florida. Final race of the year for the OPT World Championships.
It's been a wonderful year for OPT, the Offshore Professional Tour. Art Ekman for Jim Hendrick and Rich Lures saying thank you for being with us. The 1991 OPT New York National Offshore Championship has been sponsored by Bud Dry. Dry brewed so it drinks light, yet satisfies completely. Ultra Slim Fast. Ultra Slim Fast, the safe, healthy way to lose weight fast. And by the Florida Keys and Key West. Now is the time to just let go in the Keys.